Have you ever stopped to wonder what truly makes us attractive? I'm not talking about, passing trends or cultural ideals, but something far more fundamental,
Yeah.
like a biological language maybe, embedded in our cells, constantly sending out signals about who we are.
It's an intricate dance, really. Often subconscious, all biochemistry. Today in this deep dive, our mission is basically to unpack this surprising connection. It's often overlooked between our sexual hormones, the food we eat, and these deep biological signals of attractiveness. We're going to explore the mechanisms underneath it all and maybe challenge some beliefs about health and diet. Beliefs many of us just take for granted.
Right. And that's why this is so fascinating. We've got this incredible document as our foundation today. It pulls together insights on hormones, diet, attraction. It really shifts your perspective.
Yeah.
So let's start by looking beyond just the obvious stuff. Usually when we think about attraction, we jump straight to visual cues, don't we? But our source material, it takes us deeper right away. It highlights that sexual hormones, things like testosterone, estrogens, DHT, progesterone, they're about way more than just reproduction.
Exactly. They're like the master architects, fundamentally defining male and female characteristics throughout our entire bodies. And just quickly for our listeners, DHT, that's dihydrotestosterone. It's a really potent form of testosterone, vital for developing many male secondary sex characteristics.
Architects, I like that analogy.
And what's really compelling is how our bodies actively broadcast our health status to potential partners. There's this one intriguing theory in the document about scent and compatibility. It suggests we're kind of instinctively drawn to people whose natural scent signals high immune compatibility.
Immune compatibility, how does that work?
Through something called human leukocyte antigen, or HLA. Think of it like your unique immune fingerprint. The idea is, if you pair with someone with a complementary HLA profile, your offspring theoretically get a more robust, diverse immune system.
Wow. Like a primal strategy for stronger future generations.
Pretty much, yeah.
Our nose knows, in a way. That's profound.
Mhm.
And beyond scent, the document emphasizes that one of the most significant ways our bodies generate attraction is through how these hormones influence secondary sexual characteristics.
Right, also called sexual dimorphisms, those distinctive physical traits that pop up during puberty. They set males and females apart, but crucially, they signal underlying health and, reproductive fitness affects both body and face.
Okay, let's maybe zero in on male attractiveness first. Our source highlights the shoulder-to-waist ratio, SWR, says it's a key biological indicator, not just some cultural thing.
Exactly, and that ratio isn't just aesthetic. It directly reflects muscle mass, body fat percentage, physical activity. It even suggests a lack of major health issues during development.
Like a biological resume of vitality.
You could say that. It's a critical signal heavily influenced by hormones. The document points out how higher estrogen levels in men can lead to fat accumulation. Places like thighs and hips, more typically female fat storage areas, that negatively impacts the ratio. Conversely, good testosterone levels, they support good muscle mass, favoring that ideal SWR. So improving this ratio, within healthy limits of course, means more muscle, less fat, which leads to better metabolic function and, it just makes sense, increased attractiveness. The source even mentions studies showing attractive body fat for men is somewhere between 8% and 17%, with 12% being most preferred by women, apparently.
12%. Interesting. Okay, now things get really intricate. Moving to the face. Our source goes into how healthy testosterone and DHT levels during development aren't just superficial. They can profoundly modify jaw development, beard density, eyebrows, even hair characteristics.
Yeah, the face development, its symmetry, it's influenced by a whole host of factors. The document highlights several key ones. Avoiding nutritional deficits is huge, especially fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K. They're absolutely crucial for bone development.
Right, A, D, and K.
And yes, the idea about eating harder foods, that it can encourage jaw development, increase bite force, it's discussed. There's a clear link between jaw length and bite force. But we need to be careful not to oversimplify. It's not the only factor.
Okay.
The source notes that even between male and female jaws that are equally strong, there are inherent size differences. That's down to dimorphism and different testosterone levels.
So it's a mix of things, including hormones.
Yeah.
The document specifically says low testosterone during development can lead to a shorter jaw height and ramus length.
That's right, the ramus length. It results in a straighter, less defined jaw angle. It's a powerful insight, isn't it? how hormones literally shape our appearance.
Definitely.
And what's really intriguing, I think, is that while most major bone development happens early on, facial bone remodeling, okay, it's marginal, but it continues throughout life.
Throughout life, really.
Yeah, it means some improvement in facial structure might actually be possible later on by addressing things like long-term low testosterone, nutritional deficits, poor habits. Our source really emphasizes habits like chronic mouth breathing, malocclusion.
Malocclusion, what's that exactly?
It's basically an improper bite, how your teeth meet. And the source links these habits plus an overly soft modern diet to suboptimal facial development.
You mentioned malocclusion. How does something like your bite, or even just how you breathe, connect to attractiveness?
It's fascinating. The document explains that correct dental occlusion, how your upper and lower teeth fit together, directly affects attractiveness. It modifies something called Brody's scheme.
Brody's scheme?
It's a theoretical framework explaining how jaw and facial growth patterns relate to overall appearance, especially the lower face and profile. Plus, nasal breathing impacts your overall skull position. So the conclusion is pretty clear. Better habits, especially during those developmental years, can significantly reduce facial asymmetries. Though it's important to remember, some asymmetry is totally normal.
Okay, that's a lot to chew on for male attractiveness.
Uh-huh.
Now let's pivot. Let's talk about female attractiveness. Testosterone levels in women do play a role, right? Muscle mass, body fat.
They do, yes. But the document really zeroes in on estrogen balance as the critical issue for women. Estradiol is often called the quintessential female sex hormone, true. But it turns out different types of estrogen have vastly different effects on health and attractiveness.
Different types. Okay, tell me more.
This distinction is absolutely critical. The source highlights a growing problem, accumulating proliferative estrogen forms. These are generally detrimental to health. They build up because our liver, our body, often can't metabolize or clear them fast enough.
And why is that happening more now?
Well, this accumulation is increasingly common because of the sheer volume of hormonal disruptors we encounter daily. They're in so many beauty products, processed foods, plastic packaging, countless environmental sources.
So it's not just natural. Our modern environment is making it worse. What's the impact then? On the body? On attractiveness?
Exactly. This buildup directly correlates with exaggerated fat buildup in the hips and thighs. Now, that fat distribution is typical for women, sure, but hormonal disruption can really exacerbate it, and that negatively impacts the waist-to-hip ratio, which, for women, is a crucial factor for attractiveness across cultures. It signals fertility, health.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So that's the problematic estrogen. Is there a good kind we're missing out on?
Yes, precisely. The source also discusses the problematic loss of methylated estrogen forms. These are the positive protective estrogens our bodies need. Lacking them can lead to increased risk of various diseases, less development of certain female tissues, and secondary characteristics. Think supple skin, robust hair, and over time, more dryness in skin and mucous membranes, plus tissue laxity.
Okay, so we want more methylated, less proliferative.
In essence, yes. And the good news here is that the dietary approach discussed in our source actually helps this crucial balance, mainly by helping you avoid industrialized products and all those disruptors. Plus, higher consumption of healthy fats, as it recommends, facilitates optimal production of both male and female sex hormones. So this balance isn't just about looks, it directly supports and enhances fertility too.
Right, so the diet is key to managing this. Given all that, what does our source actually
Recommend we put on our plates. It lays out a pretty clear dietary blueprint. First, cooking fats. Big recommendation. Avoid vegetable oils, especially the hydrogenated.
Well, the approach described is definitely not vegan or vegetarian. It emphasizes that many animal parts, liver for example, offer the highest bioavailability of essential nutrients. Nutrients our bodies need for all these hormonal processes. And it gets quite specific about what to actively avoid too.
I saw that. One thing that jumped out was avoiding protein powders. That's pretty bold, isn't it? So many people rely on them. What does the document say about how they might damage the intestinal mucosa?
Well, the source indicates
That many protein powders, especially ones from certain industrial processes, can contain proteins or byproducts that irritate or damage the gut lining, the intestinal mucosa. It also suggests avoiding fluoridated water, noting that even commercial bottled water can sometimes contain fluoride. And, maybe less surprisingly, genetically modified foods are out. All types of artificial sweeteners, substances used to enhance flavor and color in processed foods.
Right, the usual suspects there.
And on a very specific chemical level, it calls out products containing aluminum, which you might find in things like commercial salts, baking powder, some antacids, even deodorants, and also mercury, often found in some larger predatory fish.
Okay, aluminum and mercury. Got it. This brings us to what I found maybe the most surprising twist in this whole document. Something that really challenges decades of, well, conventional wisdom about fats. Our source mentions that this type of high saturated fat diet has paradoxically shown to lower lipoprotein.
LPA, yeah, which is a significant cardiovascular risk factor.
Exactly. Now, it's crucial to note the source says more evidence is needed before recommending this wholesale, especially for people with existing high cardiovascular risk. But still, it flips a lot of assumptions on their head, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I mean, for generations, the dominant belief was saturated fat is the main villain for heart disease, the primary driver of plaque in our arteries. Yet the new evidence discussed in our source, it's really fascinating. Studies, autopsies even, of plaques formed in coronary arteries, the aorta, carotids, they've revealed something compelling.
Which is?
These plaques, they are predominantly made of polyunsaturated fats, specifically the most pro-inflammatory types, not saturated fats, as we always thought.
Wow. That's a monumental shift in understanding.
Yeah.
It completely reframes how we should think about the fats we eat.
Indeed. This finding essentially rewrites our understanding of fast and heart health.
Yeah.
It clearly indicates we probably need to significantly reduce our intake of polyunsaturated fats, unless, of course, they're very rich in beneficial omega-3s.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's crystal clear, isn't it? Our hormones, our diet, our overall health, they're all intricately linked to our attractiveness. Not just aesthetically, but biologically. It's a really holistic view of well-being that goes way beyond just looking good.
Absolutely. These insights show how seemingly small, conscious choices in what we eat and how we live can have profound impacts on our biological signals of health and vitality.
It's about optimizing the very messages your body is designed to send out.
Exactly.
And that really leads to a powerful question for you, our listener, to maybe ponder. If our bodies are constantly signaling health and vitality to others, what messages are your daily choices sending out? Think about that. Until next time.